Hello,
I'm
how are you?
good.
Good.
We are on Yud Zion,
That's where we are.
17.
Yep.
Tvul Yom Inolam. We said that a Tvul Yom, we're talking about somebody who's Tameh, any kind of Tumah, Tumah's mace, but it had to be the seventh day, or somebody who touched the Sheretz, touched the Nevela, where their Tumah is just one day. And once they go to the mikveh, they're called a Tvul Yom. They can eat Truma. They can't eat Kodshim until nightfall. So that's the hi Johnny. That's the status of its full yom. And if he does the avoda, our Mishnah said he's machalalit minola the Tanya. Rav Simayo Omer remez l'tful yom shemovat chila minayin.
Yud Zayin, right?
We're on Yud Zayin, yes. Where is the source that if it's full yom does the avoda, he's machalalit Talmud loymar? Kedoshim yiyu lalokehem v'lo yichalalu. The Kohanim have to remain kadosh. Now, it's not talking about a Kohen who's completely Tomei, the Nafik. We've already learned that from V'nazrumi Kodshe Bnei Israel. So then you don't need it for that. Tneu in Litvul Yom. It's for a degree less. The Torah also says that a Kohen cannot cut the corners of his beard. He cannot make like a bald spot on his. Maybe it means if he does the avoda in that status, he's machala. Where do you come up with Tvul Yom? So the answer is because Tvul Yom di avad b'misam in Olon, a Tvul Yom who does the avoda His punishment is Misa Bidei Shemayim. How do you know that? The Gomar, Chilul Mitruma. It says by Truma, Umesu bo ki chalaluhu. And here also, since it says Yichalalu by Kochim, the Apostle Betruma, that somebody who's poisel to eat Truma, like a Tvul Yom, he apostles the avodah. Miduloi apostle Betruma, a kereach, or mashkis pe'azakim that's not contraindicated to eat Truma, long machal avodah. So it's clear that it's the Tvul Yom that has been marbe, that if he does the avodah, he's machalalit. Omer Rav. Lamali de kosav rachmana, tamei u'tvul yom u'mechusar kippurim. 3 categories: a tamei, somebody who's a tvul yom, and somebody mechusar kippurim is somebody who has to bring korbanos on the 8th day in order to be completely purified. Any of these 3, if they do the avodah, they're machalalit. Well, why couldn't the Torah teach me by one? I would have known the other. No, tzrichi, I need it by all. Because Rachmana Tamei, if the Torah would have only written it by a Tamei, well, you can't learn from Tamei to Tvul Yom and Rechus Kippurim, Shekain, Metame. You know what's different between somebody who's Tamei? He can be Metame other things. That which he touches becomes Tamei, like a Rishon. But a Tvul Yom or Mechusar Kippurim, they don't have the power to metame other things anymore. They can passel Truma and Kochim, but they cannot metame it. So I wouldn't have been able to learn Tvul Yom and Mechusar Kippurim from Tamei. Now, if the Torah would have written the din by Tvul Yom, that he's mechalal the avodah, maybe I would have learned it to the other ones. Mechusar Kippurim lasiminei. I wouldn't have been able to learn zav zava mitzon yoledes, who require korbanos on the 8th day. Shekain pasal betruma. A Tvul Yom, in some regards, can pasal truma, and Mechusar Kippurim is not. If the Torah would have written by Mechusar Kippurim only, Tvul Yom lo asimine, I wouldn't have been able to learn Tvul Yom from that. Shekain, in some respects, Mechusar Kippurim is more stringent because Mechusar Meiser. The Tvul Yom only needs the sun to set. He's already done all the Meiser that he needs. He went to the mikvah. Mechusar Kippurim has to bring korbanos. He's just waiting for sunset. So the Gemara has proven to us that you couldn't have taught it by one and we would have learned the others. Okay, mechada lo yasi, but maybe teisa chada mitarti. Maybe a combination of 2, we could have learned the other. So the Gemara wants to know behei lo lichtiv, Rachmana. Where could the Torah have been silent? Lo lichtiv b'mechusar kippurim. Let it be silent b'mechusar kippurim v'ismehanach, and learn it out from a combination of someone who's tamei and a tvul yom. No. If somebody who is tamei or a tvul yom touches truma, they passel it, and therefore that's why they're mechal the avodah. But the mechusar kippurim doesn't, so he would not be mechal the avodah. Ella loy lech b'tvul yom. Let the Torah be signed by tvul yom b'teis me'anach, and I would learn it from a combination of tamei and mechusar kippurim. The my parach. What would you have had a problem? Malahanach sheken mechusurim ma'isa, that a tamei and a mechusar kippurim, both of them, are missing a ma'isa, while a tvul yom has already done the ma'isa. Tamei needs to go to the mikveh. Mechusar kippurim brings korbanos. Sof become klisha le tumasam. Both of their tumah is weaker than Tvul Yom, because the Tvul Yom passes truma, Mechusar Kippurim doesn't. So the answer is Ksavar Mechusar Kippurim Dezav Kezav Dami. At least regarding a Zav and the other people who are Mechusar Kapor, like a Yoledes or a Mitzora, they are mamish like the Zav itself. So it's a Chomer Dikatuma. So you don't have that kasha regarding the weakness of it. Because this person holds that Mechusar Kippurim of a Zav, he's like the Zav himself. So Mechusar Kippurim, the Zav, Kezav Dami, does everybody hold that that's the case? Tanoi. It's actually Machlokes Tanoim, the Tanya. You have a paraduma shesarfa oineinu Mechusar Kippurim. Now, the din is a Tvul Yom is allowed to burn the paraduma. You don't have to be completely tohar. You can't be tamei. You have to. In fact,
You become Torah.
it's stukim. So because the Prushim were always concerned that somebody was going to be at stuki, they would give him a sheretz to hold, and then they would put him in the mikveh. So they knew for sure that he was a Tvul Yom. They didn't want someone who's completely tohor to burn the paraduma, because that's what the Stukim learned. So if you have an onain or Mechusar Kippurim who burnt the paraduma ksheira, Yosef Ababli Oimer oinain ksheira, Mechusar Kippurim psula. Now what's this machlokes? My lav hakamifli. Mar savar. Yosef Abavli, who says that a Mechusar Kippurim may not burn the paraduma. Mechusar Kippurim the zav kezav dami. He's like a complete tomei. A complete tomei cannot burn the paraduma. He got to be a Tvul Yom. Umar savar, the other mandomer holds lav kezav dami. He's like a Tvul Yom, which is kosher b'par. The Gemara says lo. Really, the kulam kezav dami. Really, everybody holds that Mechusar Kippurim of Zav is like a Zav. Means he's like a Tomei. So what's the machlokes here between the Tanakam and Rav Yosef Abavli? Hachaba kamiflagi dichsiv. It says v'hiza tahor ala tamei. It's a famous drasha. Michlal shehu tamei. He's tamei in another regard. Li made al tvul yom shekosher bepara. This is the source that a Tvul Yom can burn the para. Now, Mar Savar is talking about a Tvul Yom of Tumash B'chol Torah Kula. It's any kind of Tumah. Tumas Meis, Tumas Sheretz, Tumas Nevela. But Mar Savar Tumah Dach Parsha. It's only that Parsha of Paraduma is talking about Tumas Meis, where you're tummy for 7 days. You have to have paraduma sprinkled on you on the 3rd and 7th day. Hilkach oinen v'toivel, oinen utvul yom, tome sheretz, tekili. For example, they touch their sheretz, where you're tummy for 1 day. Also, b'kavachoymer mitvul yom demeis. That if a tvul yom demeis can burn the paraduma, certainly tvul yom of tome sheretz can. Ava Mechusar Kippurim the Zav, the Chomer, because he's like a Zav, a full tummy. Shekin Tumah Yotzal Megufo lo. And that's why that mandomer holds that he may not burn the paradum. Okay. The Mishnah told us in the list of people that are not kosher to do the avodah was Mechusar Begodim. The regular coin has to wear four begodim. If he's missing any of his begodim, he is mechalal the avoda. Inola. Amrav Yechnon. Umatu Mishmeid Rabbi Eliezer Rabbi Shimon was brought in the name of Rabbi Eliezer Rabbi Shimon to Amar Kra. It says v'chagarta osam avneit. They should wear a belt. Aaron uvanav. V'chavashto lahem migbaos. They have to wear a hat. V'haisa lahem kahuna lechukosola. Bizman should be there malayim, kunosam malayim. When they're wearing their begodim, they're kohan. Ein bidei malayim, ein kunosam malayim. They're not fully in their element, and they possibly avoid if they're not wearing the begodim. Frag the Gemara, Beha me'acha nafka? Is that taught from there? Me'asam nafka. We learn it from somewhere else, the Tanya. Minayin l'shesuya yayin. If you're drunk, sheim ovad chilel. That if you did the avodim mechalel, Talmud loymar, yayin v'shechar al teish. Don't drink wine. And ulavdil ben hakodesh u'ben hachol. That is mavdil between an avoda that the kedusha retains regarding an avoda that becomes bechala. The Baraisa continues. Mechusr begodim, lacking clothes, not wearing the full 4 begodim, or shelo richutz yadayim raglaim, or if he hasn't washed his hands and feet. Minayin, how do you know that he's mechalel? Talmud lomer chuka l'gzer shav. It says by shetsuya yayin chuka, and it says by rechitas yadayim raglaim chuka, and it's learned like a gzer shav. It says chukas olam b'shetsuya yayin. And it says by the begodim also the chukas olam. By salayam the chukas olam. Okay. Okay.
So what's tomorrow?
Okay. Mincha by me is 3:30. What is mincha by you?
2 o'clock. And hold on, I'll get the schedule quickly. Okay, so mincha is 2 and 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we have to eat 2 meals, around noon or so, 1, and then the next one after mincha. I usually go at 2 o'clock.
Can we do it tomorrow morning, 8:30?
Yeah, for me it's better.
Yeah, Abe, let's do
Yes.
8:30 in the morning. Can we do
That's
that?
fine with me. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Send the message 8:30 in the morning.
Okay.
yeah, that's better. Okay.
And then Yom Kippur, we could do it also Yom Kippur, like at maybe 9 o'clock at night. We can eat a little bit, and I mean it's over at 7:30.
Maybe even earlier, 8:30 maybe. When is this fast over?
Yeah, fast over, it'll be over by
7:30.
7:30.
7:21.
Yeah, but
So
by the time you get home and eat, it's probably better to do it a little later. Maybe 9 o'clock.
okay, if you want to try 9, that's fine. Oh,
I'll send out messages.
okay.
Shikoyach.
I usually go and buy
Okay.
my lulav and esrog moitze Yom Kippur. Okay, I'll go later. They're gonna be open late, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
See you later.
Mm.